Hello guys, welcome back to Coming 17, where I'm not actually sure anymore if this is going to be a separate second part. I might just combine all of it, but just in case, this is the Coming 17 500 subscriber special, a trip to Perth, part 2, Adelaide to Perth. Today we'll be having a brief look around Adelaide before catching a plane to Perth. And as you know, I'm a much more of a train channel, so I won't document very much the experience of catching the plane. But I do want to film some of the stuff I see in Adelaide. There's trams and trains and stuff. And so that will be primarily what this video is focused on. Trams and trains in Adelaide. There's one right there. Tram. Yeah. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to actually be able to see all this stuff though, but yeah. Okay. Alright, here's the first tram that I've seen. Well, not the first tram that I've seen, the first tram that I'm filming definitely. I believe they're called 100 class trams. And there's also 200 class trams, which are more recent Alstom designs. They're similar to the ones in Sydney, the 200 class as they're called. They're both mods. They're both models of the Alstom Citadus, which also the C-class trams in Melbourne are Alstom Citaduses. Pretty common model of tram, honestly. Whereas this is an earlier Alstom design. They're 100 series, all class. I'm going to assume for the rest of this video they're called 100 class trams. They might be 100 series trams, I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up. Maybe instead of just assuming, I'll look it up. Okay, they're called 100 and 200 series trams. Useful to know. So the 100 series trams are Alstom Flexity Classic, I believe that's what it said. So they're kind of like the ancestors of the Flexity Swift line, I imagine, which the E-class trams in Melbourne are Flexity Swift, I believe. And then the G-class are the descendants of that as well in Melbourne. And then the 200 series are the Alstom Citadus 302, which is a similar design to the 30 something used in Sydney, and the C-class trams in Melbourne, especially the C2 class in Melbourne. They're very similar. And then if you watch the time lapse, the end of the time lapse of the overland, you'll see all the suburban trains that we saw. Adelaide's got two types of suburban train. The 3000 class, which which are made by Comenge and look like the Comenges in Melbourne. But they're actually diesel propelled. And then they've also got the 4000 series, or series train, I don't know, 4000 series train, I don't know. And they're made by Alstom, and they look a lot like the V-Line Velocities and the Trans-Perth Beat series. So it's just a funny, so in other words, Adelaide's got diesel Comenges and electric Velocities. Which is funny. I hope to be able to catch one of each today. Don't know for certain. I've definitely got footage of them in the time lapse, and I want to try and get some more real-time footage. Yeah, that was a brief overview of rail transit in Adelaide. You've also got, the Journey Beyond tourist tra tourist trains or spirit, yeah, I don't know. The Overland, the Indian Pacific, the Garn, and the Great Southern. And the unique thing about Adelaide, in respect to those, is that it's the only common station between all 4 lines. So it might be Journey Beyond's base of operations or something, I don't know. But yeah, so... yeah, and they all go to Adelaide Parklands Terminal, formerly known as Keswick Terminal, which is actually not used by any other Adelaide train. They don't go into Adelaide Railway Station, which is the suburban terminus, and there's actually no public transport anywhere near Parklands Terminal. Well, there is, because it's near the centre of Adelaide, but it's like a pretty low spot in terms of public transport, so we had to get a taxi out of there. Yeah, it's definitely interesting that they don't just go to Adelaide Station. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you later on now. Okay, so apparently this place here, this tunnel goes to Adelaide Station apparently. Interesting. There it is. Adelaide Railway Station. This is an old building, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Adelaide Railway Station. Now apparently it's got the bank card tap-on system like it does in Sydney, which is convenient. So yeah. Okay, so this is my ticket. So because it turns out that no, we can't use cards.
That's all, just arrow facing in, come out the top, and then you just go through the one to
Okay. That was interesting.
I think some of
so yeah, I think we're gonna go on the Seaford line. Maybe. It's departing in 1 minute. That's a bit close. There we go. This is 4,022. Right, so yeah, let's try and just make sure that we get on. Okay, so this is a 4,000 series or 4,000 class train. Yeah. Adelaide 4,000 class train. The beeping doesn't actually mean that the doors are closing. There we go. Alright, so the numbering system is interesting. You've got A cars and T cars, so I think that's what it is. Yeah, 4022A. And then this one is 4022T. And then what's the other one?
The next stop is Woodlands Park.
Uh-oh. B, okay. Oh boy. Okay, looks like this train's running a little bit more express than I thought it would. Oops. Uh-oh. Okay. There's some more trains out the window. Set 4007. You can see a 3000 class train through the 4000 class trains. Oh yeah, the back in public hands thing. Apparently, the Adelaide Metro was run by a private operator up until recently, when it was, and now it's back under government control. We could do that in Melbourne too. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Government, you run V-Line, you can run Metro. Anyway, here you've got the not Mikey readers. Yeah, it's an interesting numbering system on the trains. You've got the train set number, then a letter A, B, and T. Interesting. On the doors have numbers. We're just like, yeah, priority seats. Right? So priority seats are red, normal seats are blue. Okay. Alright, now we're getting off at this station, because we can't get off. Alright, well, seems I didn't think this through nearly as much as I would have hoped, so let's just hope that the train coming the other way is a 3000 series, because I'd like to catch the diesel Comenge train. I'm not sure if I'm going to be that lucky. Yeah, there's a 4000 class train, also known as electric velocities to Melbourne. Not as much to Adelaide or people, I imagine. Yeah, let's see how well this goes for us. Okay, so this is Woodlands Park. I don't know what it's called. It's this station. That's interesting, the platform markings. They've got slightly different colours. Stand behind the white line. I've got a yellow line at the end and a red. What are those things called? I don't know. Woodlands Park, there we go, that's how it's pronounced. But yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, you got a station sign, you got platform indicator numbers. Yeah, the signalling in Adelaide, I don't even know, truth be told. I don't even know. It seems to be either complex or simple. Like, that's literally just that's literally only 3 positions, that signal. 3 colours, so I don't know. Yeah. Guess we'll have to look into Adelaide signalling. And yeah, it looks like the train, oh yeah, the train coming the other way won't be a 3000 class. Okay, that's unfortunate. That's another 4000 class. $4,015. Alright, so we'll catch this back a bit. Yeah. Right, the current plan is to change at here. We're currently here, and this is the Bel Air line, which has the 3,000 classes that we want to get. So we could change here, and then catch one the rest of the way. So that's the current plan. So yeah, I'll see you then, I guess. Yeah. Alright, now we're at Goodwood, which is the station. Change for the Bel Air line. Just need to figure out what platform to go to. Yeah. Oh, there's a little bit of graffiti, that's not good. See, look at that signal that the train just went under. It's got like a thing pointing out. That's weird. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the other platforms, which I think will be where we want to go. There's an underpass. They're not cleaner in Victoria, so I've got no comment to make. It's bad. Oh, nice. Yeah, there we. Yeah, our 3,000 class to Adelaide departs in about 15 minutes, according to this. Yeah, from here. Well, we'll get to see a few trains here at least. So yeah, with these are the three platforms, and you can see that there's also a line on here. This is the standard gauge line, which we rode on when we went on the overland. Alright. Now it says we'll be here for about 15 minutes. I guess hopefully I'll be able to see a few trains while I'm here, which is good. I did want to do some spotting along with riding. So yeah. Yeah, this is Goodwood Station. I hope the wood is good in Goodwood. Here's the first train that we see here. It's actually the train of the right type, but it's going the wrong direction. So we're not going to catch this. Wow, it's so short. Now the 3,000 class, there's actually two variants. The 3,000 class and the 3,100 class. This is a 3,000 class. And the difference is these cabs. So 3,000 class, the original 3,000 class trains just have a cab on each end of every carriage. And the 3001 class have a cab on only the ends of, on only one end of each carriage. So that way they couple to make two car sets. These can be coupled to make two car sets, as this one is, obviously, but you know, there's still the cabs there. It's kind of like the trains in Victoria, although it might be possible for passengers to go between the carriages. I don't know. Yeah, this is the 3100 class. They are built to be two car sets, whereas these can be split into single car sets. Yeah, they look like Commengers because apparently they're based off the Commenge. Apparently they're literally based off its design. Yeah, the next train coming the other way on this line won't be for 20 minutes, and I'm guessing it's because most of the line seems to be single track. Hasn't been duplicated, which is interesting. Oh, there's a tram! A 100 class tram. Ah, that's like a tram only bridge or something. That's cool. Yeah. Okay, next train, another 4000 class, going to Flinders. Not Flinders Street, just a place called Flinders. Adelaide and their name stealing. No place in Australia is well, nearly no place in the only places in Australia that have original names are the ones that use their Aboriginal names, basically. Everything else is just somewhere in Britain. Most of everywhere else. I'm not going to say that everything there's no single original name in Australia, but, you know, the vast majority. And they've got their own little tunnel that they go into, the Seaford and Flinders lines. I just noticed that sign there. It says EMU, do not proceed past this point. So that's saying electric trains to not go past that point, because if you see on the Bel Air line, the one that doesn't go into the tunnel, the electrification just stops there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to keep going, definitely, with a train that relies on the overhead. Makes sense. What's that train? Yeah. Is it like a freight train or something? I think that's a freight train there. Wonder what... Yeah, it is. That's cool. Yeah. There's that freight train. That's cool. Going on the standard gauge line. Maybe it's going to Melbourne, because this is the line that goes to Melbourne. Carriages, not four locos. That's very long. That's a lot of locos. It's funny how freight trains just keep going, you know? The wind is so strong and continuous. There's a train running express, like the one that we caught all the way to Woodlands Park, because it didn't stop anywhere in the middle. I did not realise that they would not run express like that. Or would run express like that. Here's another one. It's interesting the flashing back and forth lights. On the front of the train, the headlights flash back and forth. Definitely making sure to make everyone aware, I guess. Oh, another tram on the bridge. Oh, there's our train. They're arriving at the same time. That's another 3000 class, so not the 2-car set, the 2 1-car sets. You've actually got a ticket machine on board the train. You have that on the 4000 series.
Stand clear. Doors closing.
Yeah, these are much older. Well, yeah, these are reminiscent of the Commengers. Most likely because they're built by the same thing as the Commengers, based off the Commengers. Alright, we're racing down the train and we're winning. Yeah. So the thing at the cab actually said no passenger entry, so clearly you're not actually allowed to go between the 2 carriages. And our race continues. Oh, and we're both stopping, I imagine. Or maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Because these are just 1-car sets, they've just got one number. This is train 3024. Yeah, okay. Gonna race this train all the way to Adelaide. The race continues and we're off to a good start. But nope, there they are. Adelaide Parklands Terminal where we were just yesterday. I wonder where the platform is. Yeah, there's one of the overland carriages right there. Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't actually proceed into the city, the overland, it stops there. I may have seen the Garn earlier today, so it's interesting that it wasn't there. Because I swear I saw it when I was on a boat. Anyway, yeah. 3,000 in the last train. Oh, there's our friend again. Seating patterns on this train is different than the 4000 class, but they're the same colour scheme, blue for normal and red for priority. But yeah, so now I can say that I've ridden on the diesel Commenge electric velocity trains. Yeah, that's a 3001 class because it doesn't have a cab on each end. One through there, clearly. Yeah. It's definitely interesting how Adelaide, I think it's the only city in Australia that has unelectrified suburban lines, besides the Centre Point line in Melbourne. But I think it's okay. I don't know, there's a difference between the Bel Air line in Adelaide and the Stony Point line in Melbourne. Okay. Now we're arriving into Adelaide Railway Station, which is, yeah, the suburban terminus for all the lines. Although, yeah, it's not terminus for any regional lines because there aren't any. There's a 3001 class train, which, yeah, you can freely go between the 2 carriages. 3000 class, that's just established. station is. Like, you can see the reflection so strongly. Now we're back at Adelaide Station. Yeah. Oh. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, it says hybrid technology. So are these trains battery powered somewhat? The 3000 plus? Because it's, yeah. That implies that there's a... Also, it's interesting, the green on this livery. It's a weird combination of colours. You've got the red primary colour, you've got the green stripe, yellow outline, and then dark blue doors. The 4000 series trains don't have the green stripe right there instead of a black one. Yeah, it looks weird. I don't mind it, but yeah, it's not wrong, but it is really weird, definitely. Yeah, that was a short trip on the Adelaide Rail Network. I think this one might be maybe something. Maybe not. Anyway, so yeah, now we might be able to catch some trams, maybe. Yeah, this was Adelaide Railway Station. Now I get to use this interesting ticket machine in. You put your paper ticket in here, goes through, and comes out the top. And then you can push this thing around to get out. Alright, so now we're going to start catching some trams. So there's the 100 series class. I forgot. I think there are 100 class trams. And then there's the 200 class trams, which are the more recent Alston Senators trams. Yeah, there won't actually be a tram going across for a while. I don't know. Oh, are we maybe not catching trams? I don't know. Looks like we might not be catching a tram right now, but I'll definitely try and shoot videos of as many as I can. I have to say that I'm surprised how many of them are the old 100 series and not the new 200 series class, whatever. Like the new 200 class trams seem to be the stark minority. That's not a phrase. You know what I mean. It's mostly these ones. They're not bad, but it's just, as far as I'm aware, they're not bad. It's just interesting how rare the new ones are. We go right across the road, a 200 class tram, the more recent ones. I wonder if they're brand new or not, yeah. Yeah, they look just like the Sydney trams, don't they? It's funny how everything in Adelaide's called the Adelaide Metro. Like, it's not... The Adelaide Metro is not a metro network, it's a metropolitan city, I guess, network, you know? Different definition of the word metro. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so it turns out we don't have time to catch a tram, unfortunately, so we'll just head to the airport now. And then we'll head to Perth. Alright, now we're at Adelaide Airport. Now, apparently we're actually going to have to go into the international terminal funnily enough, because that's where our flight to Perth is. It's in the international terminal, so that's funny. Yeah. So this airport's actually a lot closer to Adelaide City than most of the city airports. Yeah, it's basically in the city, which is cool. I guess it makes sense. Adelaide's a lot smaller of a city, so it's much easier to put an airport much closer to it. Right, now we're inside Adelaide, and we're going to go up the escalator to go to the departures. Right, apparently this might be my last chance to film until we get to Perth or something, so I'm just going to take it as that. I'll see you guys in Perth, at Perth Airport. See you then. Okay, now we're at Perth Airport. So this is the start of this is really just the start of a holiday. But yeah, that will be another video, so I'll see you next time when that video should release, because I'm sure I'll film at least something while I'm here. So see you next time.